Hey guys, welcome back to the Card Guy. Sebastian here. Today we're looking at Justin's top eight all the way to the finals with his Victor deck. We actually have Justin here today. Hey, hi, Justin.
Hello.
And he's playing into Dorinthia this round. How do you Dorinthia on the Victor side? Obviously not too good with this turn zero, but
Yeah, this turn zero was crazy. He kind of thought about it for a minute and was like, well, I just drew the nuts, so we're going to go for it. And this is 10 dominate on hit go again and all that. Um,
with a resource floating to threaten the
yeah, with
counter.
the resource floating, we know the sword's coming back in. But I feel like this matchup currently with how the decks are built is Victor favored. The block cards are insanely good in this matchup. Um, they're not running dynamos or any kind of recursive armor piece. So Miller's Grindstone can actually just mill them out, so they kind of have to flat deck versus you. And if they're flat decking, their turns aren't as powerful, which makes Miller's better. And yeah, it's just kind of a headache
Yeah,
for the Dory on their side.
absolutely.
Um, I am running some D-Reacts in this deck. I have a full play set of Sync Blows, and we have some blue unmovables in there. I think I saw one of the Sync Blows in my opening hand there. Kind of trying to just decide how to play this. The classic Guardian go second brick.
Yep, of course. Too many times in Bravo have I done that where it's like you get rid of your crippling crush because you have to block and you're like, okay, and then you draw back up and it's all blue and you're
Yeah, it's unideal. I was thinking about popping the shield for Golden Sun here,
like
but
hammer, sad
yeah,
hammer.
like instead we're just gonna hammer. I was thinking about popping the shield just to get the Golden Sun off for 3 card 9. A little blow rate, but better than 4, obviously. But I didn't know how he wanted to play the matchup yet, so I didn't want to just burn all my resources to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you pretty happy to not see Decimator here?
Oh, I was over the moon. We had played each other in Swiss, so I kind of knew what was going on already. Um, but in our first matchup, I learned a lot about grains and kind of how it plays in this match. Where
Yeah.
uh, it's a really strong card. It allows the Dory to have some really spiky turns if you just let like a naked Dawn Blade go through.
hmm I see there you got a Twinning Blade. I'm sure that's like one of the most annoying cards for Victor, especially a low D react Victor. You have some, but obviously over blocking on like a supremacy turn and then just getting blown out with a twinning doesn't feel doesn't feel the best. So
Yeah, it wasn't exactly where we wanted to be. Uh, yeah, that's not what we want. But yeah, getting to mill the
yeah,
Twinning Blade right off the jump just felt great. And like on this turn here, he only has 1 card in hand. I'm not scared if he burns the pump
yeah,
here. I just block with another card. It was fine.
exactly. How aggressive is the Victor list? So I see Terra Sunder. I see you said unmovables. Pummel, is that also in the deck? Or
Yeah, Pummel is in the deck.
okay,
This Victor list, I think every Victor list is kind of close to each other. Ooh, we got a bunch of armor here. So we really liked this hand.
yep,
I've been sitting on the same arsenal for a while now, so I'm gonna just assume that's a D-React. But yeah, this Victor list is I mean, every Victor list at this point is pretty close to each other. Um, I'm playing in the red slots more like disruptive proactive cards,
yep,
like red disable, because some people have kind of noticed a tendency of just like wait and block out until Victor just presents vanilla damage and then go in. So I just wanted to have some more like red disruptive threats in this Victor deck. Pummel's in the deck, CNC's in the deck, that kind of stuff.
that 9 on red disables definitely a tall order, especially
Yep.
for aggro decks to block.
Yeah, demands 2 or 3 blocks out of an aggro deck, which is great.
Yep. If they have it in their hand. A
Yep.
lot of times they don't.
Nope, no, they don't. But yeah, Dory came in here with Supremacy. I want to say it was Josh a long time ago that said if you see Dory's face, you're blocking.
If you see Dory's face, you're blocking. Yeah.
Yeah, on a card. So I was like, all right, well, I guess we're blocking here. And hey, we have the best card to block with. So,
And against Dory, it's always gonna be draw and get and get all the tokens.
well, sometimes you run into a pummel or like another D react or the block cards.
Hmm.
And there's our Ed Might token, very, very important member of the card guys.
He has Iron Song, and then you just and I'm sure you're just happy to trade that out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're doing great. We got rid of a Supremacy in deck, and I still have 2 cards in hand that I get to throw a 2 card Spinal with for 10.
Just Victor doing Victor things real quick. Don't mind him.
Yeah. So this deck was playing Tunic and Tech Plating on the day.
Yeah.
Um, I was playing Tunic into my slower grindy matchups. I was playing Tech into the aggro matchups where I kind of wanted to block with more armor. I think lists are kind of coming around to playing one or the other, but I was just playing both on the day to get more of a field test and see how they felt.
I definitely like both though, because just Guardian with Tunic, Guardian with a dress, man.
Yeah,
I just love the feel of it.
yeah. Well, it's the surge when you need it, which is always huge. And like for example, on this play here, right? I have a Spinal Crush in my hand. All right, cool. I want to trounce. I have a Vigor. All right, well here's a 2 card 10. And
Yeah, who's beating that?
yeah,
that
and off
that
the
rate's
previous
just
turn,
insane.
yeah, I don't remember if on the previous turn I would have had resources floating to make a Seismic Surge or not, but I don't need to. I don't need to worry about it. I
Yeah,
just
exactly.
have it because Tunic's up.
And especially playing Command and Conquer in this list. I haven't seen this list, but I know you said Pummel. Is the Command and Conquer Pummel a possibility for this Victor deck?
Oh yeah, yeah, we always
Okay.
can.
Yep. Yep.
We got him to block with a red route, or well, there's only one color of route, but we got him to block with the route and the red overpower. And that at this point we know the return is not going to be that
Yeah.
threat.
Keeping Dory honest. That's what we like to see.
Yeah.
What do you feel like Dory needs to get through, like over Victor though? Like, what kind of sequence does she need to have, or what needs to happen bad on the Victor side of the matchup for her to just kind of take the game, or at least take a huge turn cycle lead and tempo lead?
Right. So it seems counterintuitive, but like the block cards are power spike turns, right?
Yep. Yep.
Where instead of him throwing this precision press out at me and then just coming with a Dawn Blade, right? Where it's super easy to cover it up. If he does have a react, I just block with another card that turn, whatever, right? I would have liked to have seen him block with another card, keep his health total high, and then just come in with a naked Dawn Blade. It still presents a weird question to the victor because if I don't block the Dawn Blade, because you always thought never block a naked Dawn Blade,
Yep.
um, he just pitches into Grains, which allows him to have a power spike turn next turn, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And because I don't think you beat Victor with just consistent damage. Spike damage is a problem, especially well, if the spike damage lines up on a turn where I don't have a block card specifically, is where it's a real problematic for Victor.
Absolutely. And it just seems that that's kind of the only way that you can really get through it.
For some decks, yeah.
I mean, if you're playing on the axis Victor wants you to play on, then
Yeah,
he's just gonna outvalue every deck in the game.
exactly. Ugh. And there we see one of the blue unmovables.
And then this is decision here if you want to break the gold, potentially messing up a golden sun. So you just chose to let it ride.
Yep, until all 3 Golden Suns are out of the deck, we're gonna just keep all our gold as is. I might use one for like a test of strength or trounce, but for the most part, we're just gonna play it pretty face up. And like for example, if the Dory, and going back to like the Dory sequencing, right? If they just did Naked Dawnblade last turn, I don't block it. They grains on the last turn, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
coming in with 2 floating now, and now I have to respect the react out of Arsenal. Where at this point, I'm just like, I can,
Exactly.
yeah, I can block super honest, and if they have Iron Song or they have whatever, then
They have it.
yeah, they have it at that point.
But you can still just block the next on blade and deny the counter, and you're still fine,
Yep,
even if they do have worst case scenario.
yep.
Is that Tunic on 3? Are we about to see it, or is that on 2?
No, we're a bad player and we missed a Tunic counter.
Oh no.
Yeah, or did I miss it? I don't know. He might be a good guy and let me have it, but we'll see. So, if I'm cycling the CNC out of the arsenal, I'm trying to put something else in there. I don't know what it is at this point. It may actually be a pummel because
Might be a pummel, might be a defense reaction,
yeah,
something
it
along
could.
those lines. Just
Yep,
another power card.
because yeah, especially in this matchup, like if Dory kind of gets you on the back foot, that's such a good card to have in your arsenal. Just because then it forces her to go back down to a 3-card hand and play really honest, or 2, so 3 cards if you include the arsenal. So we have another trounce. We win. That looks like a red debilitate.
Which I'm sure you're happy to see that.
Oh yeah, we are. That thing gets to be a 2-card 9. Not use Tunic.
Then even here, you're like, you have the Iron Song, sure, that's fine.
Yeah, but it lets them pay into grains for the first time, which now I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm really happy that I had a trounce on that turn because these are the turns that really scare me. Playing against Dory is once they start getting some vigor tokens.
because it just makes the math totally different. That one floating can represent so much versus just the honest blue pitch. Um, it changes the whole game.
Yep. Um,
And then here you're just
there
going
it
for
is.
the
Okay.
the
Yeah.
classic Bravo.
Yeah. With the vigor token, we get to, or sorry, yeah, with my vigor token, I just get to do a debilitate for 8. It's the classic 2-card 8 play. Because I'm blocked with 1 card. E-Strike has been a nice addition to the deck. Just talking about that card in general. Sometimes, like off a trounce play, you just end up with a ton of cards in hand. So E-Strike just lets you play out your full hand more efficiently sometimes, where, I don't know, you pick up a red off trounce, you're not able to play it out, so
Just
you
playing
just,
Guardian with the E strike is it never feels bad. All blue hand, you're fine with it. All red hand, you're like, okay, block 6, come in for 7.
yeah,
It
it's
just
the
seems
secret,
so
yeah, it's the secret blue in the deck.
just so versatile on what it can do.
Yep. Ooh. This is an interesting crown block.
Then here he could just be in your mind. What are you thinking? If you can remember, what are you thinking he might be representing here?
I would do that if I had a brick. If I bricked really hard, but even then, it's probably better to just like block for 3,
You
not let
just
them get
stop
the
the
grains.
grains, yeah.
Yeah, just stop grains from happening. And then just even if it's an all red hand, block 3 and just come back hammer for 4. Like that's still my game plan, and I get to keep my armor up at that point. So let's see what happens here. Oh, it was a disable.
Okay, okay.
So I guess I was fishing for a blue.
Well, you got it, so it worked out.
We did it.
We did it, boys.
Yeah, we did it.
I guess also like the worst case scenario is like if you draw another red there, you can just crack a gold. Like worst case scenario. I know you say you don't usually want to, but I guess if you're
Well,
already committed to the line at that point, it's not that bad because that means you have drawn what like five
mm,
or oh, okay. There we go. Now we understand.
okay.
Now it all yeah.
Yeah, we were hunting. All right, we had Pummel play in line. All right, and
Got
we were just hunting resources. Cool. So you see a red macho there. Um, Victor does kind of have a hard time closing out games, or he can. Nope. Uh, oh yeah, Pummel. So we had to discard something. Victor can have a hard time closing out games, so I was testing red macho at that time, especially with tunic counter. The burden of just getting 10 dominate off is having your tunic counter at
yeah.
3.
And you don't realize it until someone blocks out your overpower for game that dominate and overpower are not the same. They are built a little bit different.
Yeah, especially versus the Warriors. Like Dory is literally built and predicated on reactions. So it's like, oh, cool. This don't look at Golden Sun as a closing tool in this matchup. It's just a 2-card 10 in
Yeah.
theory. So I'm playing this really aggressively. I don't think that's correct.
You think playing it now, you would just like take a more of a back seat, let him just kind of burn through threats, and then just wait until
Well,
your blues are better than his blues. Because I mean, once Dory is kind of like once you can count up what she's got left, she
mhm,
kind of gets like so one dimensional in what she can do. My issue is I always play aggro deck, so it's like you never get to that point. But you know, I'm sure for Guardian, it's just like it's so good when it's like, okay, I've seen this, I've seen this, I've seen this. Once Story gets down to her blues are like what, one value or like two value. Like her blues are awful.
mm, yeah, and he's almost exclusively pitched blues. He hasn't really pitched any reds.
Yeah.
Oh, and we just hit a supremacy. We're good at the game.
Winning and supremacy this game,
Yeah.
that's big. That's big.
And this just kind of shows the power of Grindstone in this matchup. Is like, look at his graveyard compared to mine and his deck size. He presented a little bit more than 60, if I remember right. I think it was about 64, maybe 63.
I also believe Ryan double sleeves, so that
Yes, he
deck
does.
is
Yes, he does. Um,
that deck is smaller than it looks.
yes. But yeah, but you see the grave. Oh no. Is this the infamous double tested strength block?
He wins.
Mhm. So I win. Oh, I'm probably thinking at this point because I know that two of my Golden Suns are on the bottom of my deck. We're probably not getting back around to them. I'm thinking about bottoming his Iron Song Pride.
Oh, doing the
Um,
Arachne effect.
yeah, that card is kind of a win condition for them in this matchup. And yeah, like when we played in Swiss, he got a counter off on Iron Song Pride, and it just kept hitting for 1 over whatever my blocks were. And because I don't have as many D reacts in the deck, it wound up being problematic.
Especially that one getting over every turn is
Yep,
turning on the grains, which is just giving them better hands for, follow up turns and just kind of continuing that cycle.
yep,
Then here you have a D react, and then he has Iron Song. Okay.
he has it. But it's going to be all this work for me to be able to block with 4 cards, swing a hammer, and arsenal a card. And it's just
Yeah, yeah.
like how we talked about you need to have your big spike turns not line up with the block cards. This is the
The
unfortunate
opposite of
of trying to do it
that.
first cycle. It's like, all right, he went for the play first cycle. Didn't work out for him.
That's what you're talking about. You think he should, in certain spots of the matchup, just taking like kind of more of a slower approach, just blocked out more of the damage when he could try to
Yeah,
poke in. Because I
I
mean,
could have.
you're actually trading a good bit of life here as well.
Yeah, I'm. Oh, did I win with a thunk? I did win with a thunk, so I get the Ed Might. But yeah, uh, it's hard to do because you're in game and you have to figure it out. But like, we could be like,
Yep.
we could look at the size of my deck and see that we're about halfway through the game, right? And at that point, you hadn't seen any test of strengths. You'd only seen 2 trounces played so far. So you could probably just look at it and be like, he's got to have some of these test of strengths coming up, and then not go for your big greedy power spike that turn. But
Yep.
also, it
Yep.
only came in with a hammer. Like it's hard to just look a hammer for 4 in the face and be like, oh yeah, this is fine. And or it's hard to like not just rip it immediately.
Exactly.
So I'm being really aggressive with some Civis deck blocks. Probably because I have the Might token and I want to capitalize on the Might token. And I know there's a Pride in his hand. And uh we talked about it.
So,
It's with the gauntlets. Yeah, you see us both of us reading the card, making sure that it works out. He's playing it in response to the gauntlet trigger being put on the stack. But we've
oh,
also
okay.
looked
I
at
see
the
what
rule a
you're saying.
couple of times, and we believe that counters are not considered, they're kind of considered their own thing. We could be wrong here,
Mhm.
but counters are kind of considered their own thing. So it can just go up to 5. Anyways, like even if the gauntlet trigger has already resolved. But he
Oh,
played it
so because
before.
Iron Song Pride, it's not a reaction, right?
Right, it's an instant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he could just like with the gauntlet trigger on the stack, still at instant speed, play it out. And yeah,
But you're
so that's
saying
what happened.
even if he didn't, if he did wait till reactions, it still might not matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So he has a Dawn Blade counter at this point. That's terrifying. I don't know what that is. Okay. Mm. Okay, we have a Rouse play here.
Browse for 8. That's not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, he's at 8. Um, but this is still kind of a precarious situation for me. As I say that up 9 to 22. But he has a Quicken token and a Dawn Blade counter. Like that's kind of the recipe for him to be able to turn the game back around if I wasn't able to
Mhm.
present pressure here. Mm, okay.
Then from his side, maybe this is the time for. I was gonna say maybe this is time for armor, but looking at his hand,
Nope. This is
okay. Because I just figured he just wants to go ahead and just get the guaranteed. Try to get the threat of 2 swings in.
yep. And he kept the hand, which should tell me that he has uh, a react in his hand here. Right? It should tell me that. And we're going to see if I'm a good player or a bad player here and respect it. Yeah, okay.
And you do. You block 7 with the gauntlet.
Yep. So we block 7.
Or
Oh no, we
6.
block 6 because it's pummel. But
And he gets over by
2.
1 or 2. Oh,
2
because
because
it's a
puncture
puncture.
has the piercing text.
Got you.
Yeah. but then the gauntlets actually push it back down by 1, so he is at 8 to my 6, so yeah, 2 gets through. Then we give up the shield here. Block with the Golden Sun.
His deck is looking pretty low at this point.
Yeah. I don't know what cards in my arsenal at this point. I'm trying to think through it, what it could be. It's not a 4 cost. We've seen me block with a pummel. It could be another pummel. But yeah, his deck was running pretty thin here.
It's almost getting to the point where on his turn you can just count his threats that he could have left.
This is a important point here. I flipped up Rouse for my reveal. In Victor with clashes, I think it's reasonably well known at this point. But nope, that's not where the hammer goes. 0, like if I reveal a Rouse, it's a 0, and the opponent reveals a non-attack action, the Rouse will win there. And the kind of way that I think about it is that like Rouse actually is showing up to the party in terms of being a number, where non-attack actions aren't at the party at all.
You know what? I didn't know that, and after hearing that, that is some very, very sound logic right there.
Yeah.
Because it's like in this matchup, 0 is basically any number. You know,
Yeah. So he's coming with a commanding performance here. But all right, what was it? It was red disable. Okay. And yeah, I'm in that spot where it's like I need to get test of strength value out. I'm just gonna essentially be trading the card in my arsenal for a card in my hand. And yeah, singing.
this is exactly what you're talking about. Where you're like that quicken and that was it courage or might that he had, or no, the counter. That's what it was.
Yeah.
The quicken and then the counter actually did get him into a place where, like right there, you made that block, knowing you're gonna lose the value. He still was, right here is able to get one over and poke one through, throw the Dawn Blade again,
Yeah. I
and
think
get more cards out of your hand.
yeah, and I think at this point I should have just blocked more, right? Like
Okay.
there's no point in not blocking more, in my estimation. Just get rid of the Dawnblade counter, and then we get to play fair again.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised, or maybe it's because this video was edited down a lot. At any point of the match, did you pick up his graveyard and start counting stuff, or look at
Yes.
like what he could? Okay, it
Yes.
just got edited out. Okay, got you.
Yes. And this is open deck list. I knew how many of each type of react he had.
Okay,
So it was just, yeah, it kind of just became a numbers game and a waiting game of waiting out all of the reacts. I think at this point I was waiting on. That was last singing. I can't remember.
I mean, with the life threshold at that, where you're sitting at a comfortable 10 plus life than him,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel bad not playing around the singing there at all either. Because then he's not arsenaling it. Like he loses the counter, but then he gets to arsenal the singing, so it's like
Yeah.
it. But at least that way, like he's getting rid of the singing. He's only getting one over. He's spending it on a go again, which you can just block out like you did the next turn, and then you still came in with hammer. You're still, plus 15 life ahead or 14 life ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're feeling comfy here.
I'm feeling comfy, but it's still. I gave my opponent an avenue to get back into this game,
Yeah.
right? Like this is coming in for 6. He has 2 floating. I should respect. Okay, I do respect it with the sink below. I think when I was counting my graveyard earlier, I was trying to find my sink below.
Ooh, you did that with a little
I
little
was
sass
so
right there.
yeah. Well, I was just like remembering the last game where the counter stuck around for forever too, and I was like, all right, well, this
Yeah.
is. I won that game as well, but I should have respected that counter more and just done a lot more work to get rid of it. But at this point, we're seeing the power of Millers versus Warriors, right? Is
Exactly.
Yeah, we have seen it eat 8, 9 cards out of his deck at this point.
Which is insane. Like
Yeah,
that's 2 extra cycles he gets to have, especially with 2 of them. I think now you're hitting like blues and stuff like that, but at the
yeah,
beginning of the game, hitting the 2 power cards, twinning, and the Steel Blade Supremacy, like that's just crazy. The amount of
yeah,
value that got.
yeah. And get to block it. Everything's face up. So what's his hand over here? Epot twinning, and he's blocking with the hit and run.
With the hidden, okay.
Oh no! Right. So we've hit second cycle. That was the second card I pitched. That blue macho was the first card I pitched. So if I remember right, I have 2 pretty good hands in a row that we kind of have to use to close the game out here.
And Golden Sun just being a with the tuna counter or a vigor, just a 2 card 10.
Yeah.
With I get into Dorinthia or Warriors, like it has less of text, but still overpower is text into a lot of matchups, and even into Dorinthia, you're asking for it's gonna leak some through no matter what, unless they just want to, free block it. Then they're doing nothing, and then like you said, second cycle you've pitched something else, so then you can just kind of chain into that, and then from there you've won no matter what.
Yeah. So you see me trying to update life totals on the phone to help with editing. That's what that is. But yeah, um, you see me here not block, and I don't know about this, Chief. Um, I think I'm just trying to aggressively close out the game. I must have like Golden Sun Pummel. It's the only reason I'd keep all this. I should have a blue in my hand for a Golden Sun play already. Goes digging with Glint. Found the buddy cards. He gets to swing again.
Gets to swing again, and it has to go again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the Glint gave a go again here. Well, this one, yeah, and it has go again off the thing. But we've already used Dory's ability and all that, so this should be the last swing of the turn. So
I'm kind of surprised here that Ryan was playing 0 like command and conquers. I guess he just didn't have them in the sideboard, because I feel like that, like, sure, it's not gonna win many clashes or maybe
mm,
any, but just something to maybe win a clash, and then and or just to kind of in that situation go again. Victor blocks out. That's fine. Command and conquer, get the other 2 cards out of his hand.
yeah, Command and Conquer would have been really, really good. And the reason why I kept the whole hand there was like we got back to the Terra Sunder. So
There's Thunder.
yeah, Golden Sun would have not blocked that well versus that hand. He would have been able to block at least 6 because the Supremacy plus Glint. But with Dominate, he's only able to block with 1 card. So we get there. So yeah, Terra Sunder,
Oh,
good card.
now you get
Closing
to
out
go
game.
on to top 4,
Yep.
and we get to have that match up next. Hey guys, Seb with the card guys here. We are with Justin. Say hi, Justin.
Hello, everyone.
We are looking at his top four match of RTN that we've been following out, and it looks like he is playing into Azalea versus Andrew Lorenz, who is a very, very good player. Check his elo out.
Yeah.
Kind of the final boss here in Georgia for us. And so Azalea and Victor, how are we feeling? Like, can they just dominate you out of the game? Are you okay with that?
Mm, they can dominate you out of the game. You're playing a ton of armor. As you can see, I'm playing tech plating here. That was a decision on the day. I kind of just wanted to test out both, see how it feels. Ooh, okay, we are playing really fast. Um, but yeah, I wanted to test out both, see how they both felt on the day, being able to have tech plating for the aggro matchups and then having tunic for the non-aggro matchups, the longer grindy games. But um if Azalea isn't able to chain a bunch of dominates in a row, the Golden Suns and your other cards, like the other value that you get off of like the block cards, drawing cards, and things of that
Mhm.
nature, you just get so much incremental value that way that
Yeah,
they end up having to get to a block out phase pretty early.
which is where you want to be.
Yes. And Miller's obviously is really good in this matchup because, most of their deck is not that big powered. So kind of the same thing. I remember Andrew presented like 64, 65-ish cards. Not completely fat decking, but not playing a lean 60.
Yeah, respecting some of the mills he's gonna get from Millers, things like that.
Yep.
Game's gonna
And
go naturally a little bit longer.
yep. I think this one has dominate. Yep. So this is coming in for 7. Guess I'm only just gonna block a little bit of it. Only real on hit here is a blood rot. It's kind of unfortunate. I think he found a blue infecting shot. Yeah, he found a blue infecting shot. It's not ideal.
Ideal, but still dominate. Still
Yep.
getting something through.
Yep. And
He's
we get
losing
them
a lace right off the rip.
happy about that. And
Yeah.
I probably just paid for the blood rod, keep my life total high. But yeah, there's something about playing against Andrew that just causes you to play way faster than you normally do.
Way faster and way worse. And then you'll make a mistake and he'll be like, "Huh, that's funny," and then continue on with the game and
Yeah, but we see a red infecting shot in Arsenal. Comes with a rabble for 4. I probably went into the tank here thinking about the Civic Steps blocks. Blocking with Civic Steps in this matchup's a little tricky.
Mhm.
Because if they just end the chain with go again,
Yeah,
you're not
it's
overly
rough.
enthused. They do something
In
like this.
general, though, Civic Steps, I love that card because it's such a skillful card in specific matchups like Dash, Ninjas, Rangers.
Oh yeah. And I'm blocking with another Golden Sun here. So,
But you're
okay,
kind of taking your closing power
yeah.
kind of out.
And I think we get to see it in this game. One of the things that makes this matchup really bad for Azalea, in my opinion, is that Codex of Frailty is not the power card that it normally is.
Yeah,
Because if I have an open arsenal, I just go grab Golden Suns over and over again. Right, and I think we
and
see
yeah,
the beautiful marble Codex of Frailty. And
Ninja's always playing max rarity,
yeah,
and
nothing but respect
he's
for that.
exactly he's in style while he's killing you at least.
Yeah. So
And
I think I'm gonna get got by Remorseless's secret text here. I think there's a D-react in my arsenal.
then release attentions from hand, right? So you're just
Yep.
no D react at all.
Yep. So we are
He said
blocking
no D
three.
for you.
We are blocking 3 here and seeing what we are doing coming back.
Oh, this is dominate as well.
I believe so. Yeah, he has Azalea turned sideways, so he did
Wow.
throw something in off the top.
What
So,
just a perfect lineup here, and that's inertia, right? So you're losing your arsenal if you let this hit. So any extra cards in your hand are just like getting burnt.
yep. But we'll see what happens. I'm And that's like this is like how Azalea plays their outs, right?
Yep, absolutely.
I did a Miller's on the previous turn. He simply didn't care. Okay, this does not have dominate. So we are
Okay.
trouncing. I win the first one. CNC comes to hand. All right, cool. So we take the rest of this, and part of the issue sometimes, and when playing Victor, is when you go for a trounce, you have to plan on if you win and if you lose.
Yeah.
Um,
Any thoughts there? I don't know the makeup of your hand, but any thought there to just like full block the 14 with armor and just like deny that value, or do you actually just want to be trading as well as you can into
uh,
Azalea?
it depends on what my arsenal is here, right? So I'm gonna pitch 2 cards to play this. I'm just trying to get all the cards out of my hand. Okay.
Okay.
There's a CNC coming in for 7. I'm representing Pummel here as well. Um, oh yeah, because there's a vigor token, so
There's a
technically
Victor.
CNC
Okay,
pays
got
for
you.
CNC. Yeah.
I see what happened. So you
Yes.
already had the CNC pummel before the trounce, so you're like, I'm gonna take the damage here. I'm gonna CNC pummel. You happen to draw the extra CNC off the top. Didn't matter. Okay,
Yeah. So if
makes
I
perfect
lose,
sense.
yeah. So if I lose that trounce, my return is I don't have the CNC that's in my hand. One of the CNCs that's in my hand. I think it's just make a seismic surge CNC, and I lose the pummel. But it lets me stay proactive because even through a CNC pummel, like you see Andrew's coming back in for 13 again, right? Off of essentially a
Yeah,
3 card hand because he had a tunic counter up. And I think I was wanting to pressure the tunic counter from Azalea because those turns are really scary.
a little thumbs up he did there.
Yeah, yeah, he was basically letting me know that CNC pummel didn't really matter. The only thing it really did was life total. So we covered up here. What were the tags on it? Was it
I,
frailty and what?
I think inertia maybe.
The inertia is probably the reason why then. Because throwing that sink blow is a choice.
Ooh, and
Oh, I lose a clash.
wow.
Yeah, we see a pummel on top to his endless arrow. He is very enthusiastic about it.
He said, no, 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 put this bigger dice on there so you know every turn.
Yep. Yeah, he wants to send a statement here.
Oh
But
man.
as you can see, off the one trounce play, like Azalea's been throwing some crazy big numbers, but it's still 16 to 26 because my deck's able to block really well. And
I can see him laughing there.
yeah,
Knocking for the endless arrow that he already knows is on top,
yep,
right?
yep. Yeah, he just needed the reload so he could put it there. So we have a dominated endless arrow now with no arsenal. And he's gonna throw it at me for 7. Yeah, for 7. So we saw me pitch a blue unmovable last turn. If I draw the other blue unmovable or draw one of the other blue unmovables here, I'm just a really good player. I didn't. It looks like I'm just giving all the armor here. Trounce block. Okay. So disable. That's a win. Teague shot. Choke slam. All right, that's a win as well.
Yeah, it's surprising because he actually had a shot there to win both of those clashes. He actually hit pretty decently off the top.
Yeah, the raging onslaughts were really scary.
Mm.
Just because that's like a
I,
6 power thing that could just like tie a trounce, and then it's like, oh, this sucks.
I love that. I saw you send Andrew's energy right back at him when you flick that quicken at him.
It happens. Uh, yeah. So it looks like I'm just making a surge immediately off of the vigor. My pops, and we're coming in with a choke slam for 9. 2 floating. And he happens to know there's a pummel. I believe we know there's a pummel in this hand because I revealed it off of the previous hammer. Yeah, we knew there was a pummel in this hand.
Tough spot for Azalea there.
Yep. And this game is essentially won off of 2 trounces doing their job,
Yeah,
right? Just
exactly.
creating so much value. Just make it something that he can't really overcome. So he's got chokeslam going on.
He's just trying fatigue shot, trying to
Yeah.
save some face.
Yeah, he's just gonna throw arrows at me this turn. We can't really see it, but he did present perch grapplers this game. I think we talked about it afterwards, and I think he decided that he just wanted to be really aggressive going forward. Okay, so he shows a 4 on top, and I show a 4. I'm so used to just automatically winning, and I think about a clash here because I know that I only have like 1 golden sun left in the deck.
And this is where the codex is gonna kind of screw him, right? Because I see it in his
Yep.
hand. But if he codexes to you, he just gives you the win con, basically.
Yep. We already have the surge up. If he codexes me, I really don't care. Just golden sun for 9 is probably going to win me a game. So going in the tank on deciding, do I put him on bottom? Do I put myself on bottom? Probably putting myself on bottom. Put him on bottom because he has more non-attack actions in his deck. And we win. We got really lucky. I think I still should have probably picked myself. I've seen most of the misses in my deck on clashes.
Wow. And he still goes for the line.
Yeah.
Did y'all talk about that after the game? Does he think that maybe that was shouldn't have gone for that? Or
Um,
because I
I
mean,
don't
I
think.
think he had what sigil in his hand or something, so he could just sigil Arsenal the Frailty. I mean, the Codex of Frailty, try to put you on having a dominate next turn and trying to maybe claw his way back into the game with the Codex when you have an Arsenal established.
We talked about it. I think at a much later time, and we're just
Yeah.
trying to make sure that the quicken token is being used correctly here. That I did block with the steps on the last one. He's had 2 quickens this turn, and this is what we're talking about: miss blocking with civic steps in this matchup. Um, because of that, he got to basically present an endless arrow with go again that I had to respect. And he blocks with everything.
Okay,
He
so
goes
he
to
did the
1.
math and he's like, I'm going to one off this. Okay, I see.
Yep. But we see how bad like blocking with civic steps at an inopportune time just lets him keep going wider and wider. But I really had to respect that endless arrow.
Yeah.
That like because he had a ponder, I could have just ignored it previously, but then it was like, no, he actually gets to shoot this thing again because he had bullseye braces up. And yep, this is the opponent's out 1. I have a ton of life. We're just gonna keep hitting them really hard
Oh
until they
no,
die.
I only have one action. Too bad I'm a guardian.
Yeah. Yeah, my deck wants to go really tall, so I'm okay with this. Do I just have it? Nope. Final.
He just throws his hand on the table.
He has all 2 blocks, so we did it. Oh no, he just blocked everything out. Just kidding. He had a 3 block.
He's like, "Can you do it again?"
Maybe. Probably. But that's like why this version of Victor, like why I built this version of Victor, right? Was that like as long as I'm like still able to present reds, the reds are still big numbers that he's gonna have to block and deal with, right?
Yep.
Like that was 9. Like, that's still a big number. Sure, I get stuck with cards in hand, and that's a strategy that some people are presenting into Victor, is just keep presenting big numbers. Or like is just block until like the Victor stumbles. Ooh, and he hits battering bolt for 6 dominate. So
And you're just here weighing your options, seeing if it even matters.
yep.
Or you
What
have the blue unmovable from Arsenal, and you're just gonna
yeah.
stuff it
What
for okay, sink.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just digging for proactive things to throw at him. Just keep taking his hand over and over again. Okay, I got Golden Sun.
Then you have Golden Sun and Blue Macho there.
Yeah. He blocked with the bullseye bracers for style. So
Let's go.
yeah.
Oh, that was a good showcase. Azalea versus Victor. I think Andrew on his end played that very well to his best ability and did the correct things in the correct spots. And I think you played it well as well. But again, thank you for everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we got the finals. So we're gonna have that up on the channel soon, and you can check that out. And that one's a little bit more tragic for our hero here, but no spoilers. All right, welcome back. So Justin, we're in the finals.
We
How do you
are.
feel about your matchup?
Uh, this was the matchup I said I was just gonna have to dodge all day, and
Hmm.
we didn't. We found the
Oh
one
no.
Kano in the room.
I think he found a lot of people. I think
He
he
did.
found exactly 8 people that day.
He
And
did, but he also had to go through a hybrid boost dash and a Levia with a bunch of AB and Spell Void. So it was not an easy road for him.
he earned
Evan
his
is
win,
a pretty good
basically. I
pilot. He
mean,
has, yeah.
not spoiling. He earned his finals appearance
Oh, absolutely.
to
He earned his final.
AB1 Victor.
Yes. Yes. He earned his nice mental break at the end of the game. So my thought process is I'm just going to try to go as fast as I can. We're going to see what we can do.
Oh, maybe he draws like 15 reds in a row or something.
Yeah, and he just opens up, snap back off the top, snap back from hand. That's like kind of the dream opening from him, kind of the dream opening for me. This is the dream opening for me because I hit a Golden Sun. And I don't have a way to create gold in this matchup, period, in a discussion. There is no starting stake, there is no other thing, and he's never seen Golden Sun, so he's having to read all my cards. But there is no way to create gold, so I get that Golden Sun, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I have a chance in this game.
Yeah.
Like, it is a very slim chance. It is not a very good chance. Evan is a good Kano player.
I mean, they can
But
always hit
yes,
high mid combo and
yes.
stumble and, and
Or
if you have the ability to come in there with the Golden Sun lethal on the stack, and you just win.
yes. Um, and this game's gonna very much come down to my opening hands versus his. His opening hands were really good. He's able to
Yeah,
go
obviously less
here.
than into a 1 AB matchup is
Yeah. Yeah,
just
that's
insane.
an AB1. I say no blocks. This hand, if I remember right, only had like a single blue in it.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to navigate that Golden Sun into Arsenal. I can play it out the next turn. Yeah, okay. I see a C and C, a pummel, and a blue. But I'd have to give up the Golden Sun in order to do that. So, and I remember after the game being played, being upset with my choice here. I have a Zealous and Arsenal.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So, yep. So he's just going to daisy chain lessons here, lessons into lessons into something. We'll see if he goes lessons, lessons blazing, or if he just goes lessons into lessons, tutor a card, and yep. Okay. So he does the full
So he had
chain.
lessons in 3 blues in hand for his.
Yep.
That's pretty
That's
good.
yeah, that's what we call capital G gaming, and we took all of it. So this blazing's about to come in for 7. So yeah, full casual, 4 card, 4, 3, 7. Yeah, 4 card 14 in wizard. Pretty good.
Yep, heard that's pretty good.
Yep. Never want to be lower in life than the Kano player, but hey, here we are.
Now he might draw 4 reds.
Mm, maybe. He's playing a pretty cool list. We saw a Chain Lightning get flipped up or get milled on the Clash. He's got some of his kind of own interesting tech cards and choices that he plays.
I mean, Evan's always been like that. He was on Ragamuffins before Pro Tour 1.
Yeah.
He's like, I think this card's really good.
Yes.
And we're like, yeah, sure, man. And then like obviously he broke out. He was playing basically the Pro Tour deck before the Pro Tour. It was just like really
Mm.
cool to see that.
Okay, and I remember thinking about this later. But yes, Evan is a very good player. He's got his choices that he likes. This line was the higher value line, right? I could have done
Hmm.
either Zealous into CNC or I could have done Zealous Pummel, Arsenal the Golden Sun.
Yeah.
I think I should have done Zealous Pummel. That's 2 points of damage less, but it takes a card out of his hand. And now, like, for example, he doesn't have that Arsenal target, or he's not able to come at me with this Spindle, right?
Yep. Yep.
Where realistically, I just need him to not have cards. So that way I can survive. He gets to look at his next hand. Doesn't want any of it. Or does he just snap put it all on the bottom because there's no combo pieces?
Or maybe that's the 5 reds in a row.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. That just shows the power of Aether Spindle. It's such a good card.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
in a deck where you're kind of playing with unknown information, you're just having to figure things out. All right, so I got two floating at this point. I'm at 15. He could kill me with all of his equipment up, and it probably wouldn't even matter. I think we're getting the. He forgot, and him and I talked about it after the game. He forgot that he knew what my arsenal was at this point because he's been playing Kano all day, and that's a very long thing. So he's worried about another pummel and arsenal.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
That's why he's actually choosing to semi respect this in some fashion.
yeah. He was just like trying to keep his life total up enough,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that way he can
Exactly.
keep his whole hand and do things. Because pummel obviously would have put him to 4 if he didn't block it at all, and he knew he was like, well, we're not getting the tuna counter anyways. Here we see Aether Arc, expansion slot card. That card's awesome. It's a really, really good card. Ooh, and here's an Aether Flare, which is an even better card.
Yeah, I didn't realize until someone explained it to me that if you make like 5 ponders off this, you get to draw 5. You know,
So
so you get.
you can only do that in UPF. Unfortunately, it
Oh, is
says
that?
it's only one ponder per opponent.
Oh, understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
yeah. If it just made a ponder for every damage it did, that's crazy. Like we're gaming at that point. But no,
Yeah, we're
the
gaming.
card's still really good. Like it doesn't matter here, but okay. So we're gonna come in with the CNC for 6, holding one card in hand. Yeah. So from my side, I'm thinking, all right, the Golden Sun doesn't kill him here. Golden Sun is my
Yep.
win con. I only have one choice. I have to hope that he can't go off on me here with me at 8, but I'm at
It
8.
leaked a
So
couple or something like that, and then
yeah, hoping that he like blocks 6 here, doesn't do anything, but instead we get to see a wildfire coming out for 5. 6. And we're doing normal Kano stuff at this point.
shout out Kyle for that very dead, right?
Yes. Yeah, I am incredibly dead at this point. This thing's gonna come at me for 6. I can only stop one of it. Uh, and he just wanted to keep going off.
Yeah.
And that spindle is gonna come in for close to 1 billion.
But
Yeah,
we
Kano.
we got
And we have
Kano.
learned to bring in our AB against Kano.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I played Bravo that tournament. I didn't bring but AB one, so
Yeah, as a Guardian, I don't think you really can respect Kano. If the Kano's good enough, they're just gonna beat you anyways,
yeah,
for the
that
most
that's where
part.
I've come to the conclusion. And it's like in Georgia, there's 2 Kanos and they're both good.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So I said I just wanted to avoid him all day. I found him in the finals, and he had a really tough route to get to the finals, as we talked about. He's played high AB spell Void Levia. He played against dashes. He played against like aggro decks that could like race him down, and he played some KOs. He had some tough matchups, and he still navigated them and played them very well.
And you know what? You got your top 4.
Mm-hmm.
The time that was the first tournament that we could go to, so we're locked in for Nats, and that's a win in itself. Just getting locked in the first tournament.
Yeah, we did it. We got to have some fun after that one, and yeah, I'm glad I could have a solid run to the finals with Victor. He's a new hero, fun hero, interesting hero, and yeah, we'll see how he gets played over in LA.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys so much. This is the last intro, but if you liked the video, like, subscribe. Thank you for sticking it out for the entire top 8 with us. Thank you, Justin, for coming on and talking through, especially the Azalea one. That seemed like a really good matchup to watch, and the Dory as well. I think there's a lot of ground covered in there for people trying to learn Victor. But see y'all next time. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for having me. Take care.